live stream on YouTube, so everyone can watch it.
But I mean, it's bolted to the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and you just build it. You really have $283 for that, and you got your mattress and your sheets. Just that little frame. Frame. And it really makes the rooms look sharp for a lot of money.
I didn't eat with you tonight. I ate with Mike over there.
Oh, that's what it is. I wasn't on Star Video. Doy. Say 1, 2, 3.
Okay, to our guests tonight, my apologies for the confusion. It normally is much smoother than this, and I'm not sure what the YouTube issue was, but I think we've got it solved.
She was coming in before.
Everybody hearing things okay? Are we good? All right. I will call this meeting to order. The first thing we have to do is to approve the agenda. I sent via email this afternoon a revised agenda and a little bit of reading material. If you have not seen that, you need to pull up your DDA email and kind of download that as we go. And I will show that revised agenda on the screen in just a moment.
I just pulled the other chair out. So yeah, go steal Don as it rolls. Don't steal Don.
Okay, you should see the revised agenda if you don't have the dead tree version in front of you, for those of you that are DDA members. I have italicized the things that I've made a change in. I went ahead and put the DDA membership statement up toward the top. Outgoing chair's comments, I'd already had chair's comments. We have a conceptual proposal for Tallulah Falls, or for the Tallulah Center building, that we will discuss tonight. That is a new addition. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
I approve.
I see a second by Mary Beth. All in favor indicated by a raised hand. I'll let the secretary tell us when to put our hands down.
Put your hands down.
Okay. Does that work,
That's not a
Christy, so that you have a chance to see everybody?
Keith, it just works best for me if they'll maybe, as long as somebody says their names. Rather, I mean, raise your hand, that's fine. But if you or whoever says, okay, I see Dustin and Mary Beth, that's fine, as long as I have.
Okay, so you would like for me to call out names. All right.
Or they can. I don't care.
Probably will be a cacophony if everybody calls their names out. So we've already done cacophonies tonight. All right. Item number 1, the approval of the minutes. Christy sent those out earlier, no pun intended. The only thing I saw in them in late this afternoon, Christy, is there are a couple of places where you mentioned we are operating with the membership provided by the town council, awaiting legal guidance. On the first page under DDA members and officers, it's mentioned. And on the second page under budget, it says the DDA continues to await guidance. So probably kill it under.
Yeah, that was just I used last month's notes to edit this month's notes, and I just missed edit. Okay, thanks. I'll do that.
Not a problem. That's the only thing I spotted. Anybody else? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
That was very hard. Who seconded?
I did.
Okay, that is Joey. All in favor indicate by holding your hand up. And Christy, all the usual suspects have said yes. It is unanimous. Okay, DDA membership statement. We are still working under the preferences and the request of the town council in terms of membership. So just the situation on that, Dustin, of course, was reapproved, was approved to join us again, this time for a 4-year term. The town charter, which makes it more legal for Joey to be on here once the charter is signed by the governor and the town council makes a specific resolution for Joey to be on the DDA. That has not yet been signed by the governor, at least as of about 4 this afternoon. So we're still kind of working under the preferences of our town council. Once that all gets straightened out, then we will pass a motion to ratify anything and everything we have done to date. So, statement for the secretary is we are still operating under the membership provided by the town council, awaiting further legal guidance. Outgoing chair's statement. It has been my privilege to serve as your chair for the last couple of years. My apologies for you guys having to suffer through that. As I have mentioned before, I think one of the first things about being in a leadership position is making sure there's continuity. And while each of us bring our own abilities and disabilities or lack of abilities to these positions, they all should be basically performable by all of us. So it's important to document, to make sure you can pass on who needs to do what when, and then we all participate in these positions as is our turn. So I think we will continue, with that philosophy. Mary Beth, I had planned on having a whole bunch of stuff written for you with a bow on it. My town time has been occupied by a couple other things, but over the next week or two, I'll begin to have some things written down, and I will stand ready to assist anywhere should you be elected tonight. If someone else is elected, then same promise to everybody else. Things to remember. The motto of DDAs, there is no checklist. That is what I have run into in dealing with states, with state offices, when I'm asking, do we have everything right? They have literally said, there is no checklist for DDA. There's no guidance we can give you. Dan McRae said the same thing. There is no checklist for DDAs. My understanding, Warren Tillery, when he was dealing with a legislative council and was talking about a DDA matter, the legislative council, the lawyers for the state house, said that there is no checklist for DDA. So just heads up, we've always got to be on the lookout for things and work through this as best we can. Big thing to be aware of going forward. We were taught in our training that we are independent of the town. That was repeatedly repeated. At the same time, there are other guidelines that say we are dependent. That's one of these murky areas. My impression is one part of state government thinks it's one way, another part of state government thinks it's another way. They can't get it together. That's why you see both. And that's why you don't have a checklist, as best I can tell. I think the Department of Audits view us as dependent. And when we do our audit coming up, it will be done with the town. And in that way, we're dependent. So just for all of you to be aware of, this is kind of the weird language stuff that we've bumped into. And always, always, always listen out for that type of confusion. Okay, so that was my 2 cents there. And I think I'm still on screen sharing. So let me get off of screen sharing. They've changed the interface on me since class. Okay, I'm back. The next item on the agenda.
Football CDA meeting on.
Did I, excuse me, I skipped treasurer's report. Treasurer report.
We've got one check that's been issued within the last 30, 45 days to pay the lawyer fee. Other than that, the account's not been touched.
Okay. Any questions for the treasurer's report? All right. We've already done the DDA membership and outgoing chair. You guys keep me on track. It's not like I'm trying to move through this and be done or anything. If I skip over something in my haste, let me know. Old business, administrative matters. Give me just a moment to pull that up. As I mentioned earlier, we probably are going to need to move back toward in-person meetings. I think that guidance will move around some during the next month or two. I've spoken some with Warren, if the attorney. He also had some restrictions on the town council. I think the concern is it's best if there is a physical quorum all in one place, even if some people are online. I won't go into all the legal justification of that. I understand what he was saying. He said he felt like, we're probably okay tonight, but we should not go into executive session in any form or fashion while we are mostly on Zoom. The words misdemeanor came up, and that sort of got my attention. So we will avoid that. We will need to start looking at meeting in person, especially if we've got substantive things to discuss that may take us into executive session.
I won't meet.
Administrative, was there a question there?
With me.
Once the elections are settled, in the next day or two, we will reassign email addresses as necessary. Somebody will get the coveted chair email address, and there may be some more shuffling around. Once that's done, we'll get word out to you. And of course, I will get you guys new business cards at the next physical meeting. I know you use those business cards, and they're probably about used up, but if you have a title change or whatever, I'll deal with that. Any administrative questions, concerns? Okay. We have under building updates and market study. We have some updates. We have some updates, some breaking news as in of yesterday even. Now, as you recall, Party A was planning on making a proposal for the Tallulah Center back in March. Party A was on the agenda. Right before the meeting, we had the stock crash related to COVID, and we canceled that meeting, but Party A indicated that they needed to pull back, take a look at their core business before they made their proposal again. And at the end of March, I was told that it'll be 4 to 8 months as soon as we can. And every month I have talked to Party A just to see how things were going. And as of yesterday, Party A indicated that they would like to put a proposal before the DDA at the August meeting, if possible. There was a business, I think, schedule conflict. It might need to be September. But Party A, as of yesterday, is making a pitch to come back to the table. Party B was the retailer. I have reached out to Party B, have not heard back from Party B. So we'll see if that manifests itself. My impression was Party B did not have the immediate capital to make financial commitments, but between an economic development background and a retail background and a background of creating an online following for Party B's product line, met a lot of criteria that would be interesting based on the marketing study that Bill Turk took the lead on. Party C has disappeared for the moment. That was the restaurant interest. That was brought to me through a real estate agent. I talked to the real estate agent in the last few days, and they hadn't heard from Party C in a little while. However, Friday afternoon, Party D contacted us, and they were wanting to see the Tallulah Center building. I was out of town, directed them to Linda. On Monday, Party D, who visited the building, contacted me and wanted to be on the agenda tonight to talk about an idea for the building. So that's a little bit further down on the agenda. There is potentially a Party E. I spoke with a member of the town council back in April or May. And one of the parties who bid on the building, 2 years ago, when the town decided that they weren't happy with the dollar amount and chose not to go through with any of those bids, I was told by an elected official that that party is still very interested in the building. There was a sense that if we're going to now consider selling it, we should at least give Party E a hearing. So there may be a Party E involved as well. So all of a sudden, things are happening. Now, this afternoon, I sent an email to you along with the updated agenda that has a draft memo to the town council and a table that follows. Do you guys have that? Can you hit your email and see it? Some of you do. Some of you don't.
Say either way, you're correct, 2 ways.
Okay.
We're able to do either one, but prefer.
Let's see. 1% share screen. Can you read this? I have put that image up on the screen.
Right there. No.
It's kind of long, pretty innocuous. It basically paragraph by paragraph is saying that, gee, prior to the forming of the DDA, we put out bids. The town asked for bids, did not choose any of those. The DDA was created to facilitate long-term leases, as that was one of the options that the town was considering. And the town cannot do long-term leases, and the town has to dispose of property by a sealed bid process. The DDA has more flexibility. The DDA explored long-term leasing initially, found that there were a lot of clawbacks and a lot of concerns, and the DDA chose to go another direction to see if we could find grant funding to totally pay for upkeep or updating the building, and then be able to lease or sell as we see fit. Obviously, we spent about a year chasing the grants as they came through cycle, and we were not fortunate enough to find something that scored. I right quickly review parties ABC, mentioned Party D, who is here tonight, and also mentioned Party E. At the bottom where it's bold, as there seems to be active interest in the Tallulah Center at this time, bold, the DDA asked the town council and the town attorney to determine what approach should be taken in selling or leasing Tallulah Center. Several options are outlined in the attached alternatives for selling and leasing the Tallulah Center building. There may be other options as well. Once the legality of these alternatives are established, the council and the DDA need to decide which approach is most advantageous to the town. The check that Joey mentioned was paying for a very brief initial conversation I had with attorney Warren Tillery about this matter. And once party A said they had to put things off, both Warren and I decided there was no point in paying for the lawyering until we were closer to needing it. Well, I think we're there now. There's a table attached to that document that outlines, got 6 approaches we could take. I'm not sure all of these are legal. And so the first thing to do is just check and see which ones are legal options for us to pursue, and then decide what the town wants to do. Now, the town may look at this and say, well, legal schmiegel, we know this one's legal, and let's do that. But what I'm suggesting we do is we send this to the town council, asking them to explore what's legal and how do we want to dispose of the building? How do we want to approach it? Questions?
I agree. We should get some guidance from the town council.
Okay. Any other questions on this? Do I hear a motion that we send this document to the town council requesting both their preferences and legal guidance from the attorney?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Joey made the motion.
Second.
Mary Beth made the second. Okay, Dustin, you're just a little too late. All in favor indicate by saying, or by holding your hand up, or by saying your name, or whatever we decided. It appears to be unanimous. Okay, so this will go to the town council, and we will see how we can best proceed at this point. Okay, give me a moment to regain control of my screen. Okay. All right. At this point in time, we will move to new business. And the first item of new business is the conceptual proposal for the Tallulah Center building. I know only that it is a hospitality industry related application here. Gerald, I'm going to turn this over to you. And I would ask to avoid, right now, avoid mentioning any type of funds or how much you're looking at, because that's something that other people who might be interested in the building would hear, and it's probably not fair to you to reveal all of those options. To the DDA, we can show some level of enthusiasm, but we have to be careful not to sound like we're making a commitment of action or a statement of suitability, at least too strongly. That again is from our attorney. So with that, Gerald, let's see if we can put you front and center. And turn your mic on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. All right. My name is Gerald Silva. If you guys don't know me, you probably see me around town. I'm a realtor here in the county. My client and I, we did look at the building yesterday with interest and repurposing it. Paul Burns is Mr. Paul Burns here. Hello. He is a well-established businessman in Raven County. He has Airbnbs, apartments, hotel, motel, and hotel, motel license with the county, and shopping center, Rusty Bike area, the Depot Center. He owns that too. So he is very well in building, and his mindset is what he wants to do. Here's what we are proposing. I looked at your little list there you could send to town council, and I kind of read through it real fast while I was up. So we're looking at maybe offering for a lease or a purchase, a lease long term, to where it's a win-win for the DDA. It's a win-win for the city of Tallulah Falls. They can get hotel motel tax coming in on a regular basis. And we would propose to do a 25-ish boutique hotel with a swimming pool.
And about 13, 14.
Yeah,
units
about
in the
13,
building.
13 basic units in the main building and build out of 12 more around the swimming pool area
Moving the septic.
and moving. Yeah, and we understand that the septic drain field is right there. We're already looking into a grind pump that can pump into the other lot and redesign the drain field with the septic permit, of course. And I think that's really what we're looking to do. And it's we get upscaled, really keep the rental right there on the main road where the traffic wouldn't be a problem for the city. It's already on 441. So, I mean, that's basically really it.
You'd be keeping Airbnbs away from residential, maybe.
Right.
You know.
I'll let Paul Burns explain because he's a builder and he also does the remodeling.
I was just thinking of positives for the city. It'd have the tax. The DDA would get money. It'd have tax money paying into city. I'm experienced in this already. I have the money to do it. To keep people in town more. They're with that amount of rooms, you'd have more people in town spending money. It'd keep them away from the R1 residential areas with Airbnbs and stuff. It'd have take a little bit pressure off of that, I would think. Traffic flow is already in place. That's basically about it.
That's basically about it. And you're looking at the rent money for if it's a lease, the lease money going to the DDA and the hotel motel tax could average between $40,000 to $60,000 a year of income for the city of Tallulah Falls. I can't hear you.
Okay, I had to, cut
okay.
myself back on. There we go. Do I understand, Paul, that you are you currently operating a hotel or motel in the county or in the immediate area?
In Clayton, I have 2 buildings, 8 units in Clayton right now. 2 separate. One's behind U Joint. You might know of it. Blue Moon Vacation Rentals right behind U Joint.
Okay.
In Clayton.
Just out of curiosity, and I think we can talk this dollar amount. Do you have a sense of how much the rooms would be looking at, or do you have that kind of analysis yet? As much as you can get, and we're for that. But.
Right. The rooms that I rent now here, the longer you stay, the cheaper it is. But I do a lot of people that have children at Raven Gap. A lot of people from China. I get a lot of people from Greece. I get people from all over the world that stay over here, and it's around $100 a night. Maybe a little bit 100, 125. Just depends on weekends are a little bit higher. Season for holidays are a little higher, like a regular hotel, really.
Do you have any numbers on just your occupancy rate? And it's okay if you don't, but
he's 100% full in his units in Clayton.
Yeah, we stay really full. I've been 100% full right now for the past 30 days. I don't really understand it, but there's a lot of people traveling right now. Maybe because they can't travel internationally or what, but I think Tallulah Gorge would be busier. I think the Gorge has a big draw. I just had a listing as we were sitting here, and they were asking how far we are from Tallulah Falls. I get probably half the people that stay here in my units ask where Tallulah Falls is, and so I just know it would work really well. And with the state park being right there along with it, it has amenities that people can do. They can go down to a beach. They could, I could have a pool there. They could kayak. There's just a lot of things people could do, and it would keep people there, and it would be a big draw for them to come to that hotel.
Walk down to the restaurant.
Yeah. Right.
I imagine they would probably do better than Clayton, even though Clayton has a historical old town, but people want something to do. Yeah.
It's interesting in some of the work we've done the last year, someone who had long family ties to hospitality in Clayton said that Tallulah Falls used to send them their overflow, and that was how they stayed alive, was that Tallulah Falls, if they couldn't lodge in Tallulah Falls, they send them up to Clayton. Um, any sense on winter? How much does it drop off for you on winter, or does it stay pretty?
I don't really have much of a drop off. Leaf flickers stay really busy during the fall. I thought it would slow down during the winter, but it really hasn't slowed down. I get more people during the winter want to stay longer. I get more longer terms during the winter.
In you're looking, and I'm sure you don't have design plans yet, but except maybe in your head.
Right.
Have you looked at the possibility of having some level of meeting facility that people could use that for a corporate retreat or something like that during the winter months?
Like meeting area, large room. Is that what you're?
Something like that. We have thought that, you know, being on a 4-lane up from Atlanta during the week, great place for small corporate retreats. If we had something like that in Tallulah Falls, just a question.
That would be great if I could figure out a place to put something like that. I can try to think of something like that, but there's not a whole lot of room there.
Right.
That would be great. That's always also another draw to have meetings, because I've been to meetings at hotels before that have meeting rooms, and they're not necessarily have to be huge, you know.
Right.
Yeah, they're probably.
Yeah, I
squeeze
probably
it in.
could find something like that.
So
Like leftover space that's not quite big enough for a room. Rooms are generally 12 to 14 wide by about 25 feet long is a standard hotel room.
well, we haven't done a marketing study. It just seems intuitively that, you know, that could be a way of evening out in the lower seasons. But if you're seeing tourists without having to go to that trouble,
You got people
Yeah.
want to come see the snow too. So.
Yeah, I'm
we
not
know about that. Yeah.
drop.
And so you're talking about 13 units in the building as it exists. You're looking at the
13 to
flat 13 and the flat area near it, putting a pool there.
around the edges, also around the edges where the grass area is, some units around there, and then a pool outside I'd call it the downstairs north exit
Mm-hmm.
to the grassy area where it's a little
Okay.
bit higher there.
Right.
And no higher than 2 stories. Not a big humongous eyesore.
Yeah, it'd be 2 stories, the grassy area around there.
So it wouldn't even go above your tree line.
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't see it.
Folks, I've asked questions. What other questions do you guys have?
I think the microphones are off.
Come on, y'all talk.
Okay, I've got a question. You know, the state park closes at dusk. I guess a thought that comes in my mind, how will you make sure that the people who are staying there don't wander into the state park? I mean, I'm trying to think about the property, and it doesn't seem like currently there's a strong delineation between that property and the state park. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, that's just a concern that popped into my head, was have y'all thought about that, and how would you deal with that?
Yeah, we could let everybody know that you can't go into
And
the
there-
state park after dark, and we can put a gate
The
up.
gates on the stairs down.
gate
You're
where the
not going to
stairs
jump
go
straight down that thing.
and put a sign on it, you know, state park is closed after that. They just have to stay upstairs, you know, at a pool area, but the pool would close at a certain time too. You know, it wouldn't be late.
9
either.
o'clock.
Yeah, people you want it to be quiet for people to be able to sleep. That's it.
Because, you know, I wouldn't want to see it be the kind of situation where people think, oh, you know, we stay there and look, we've got the state park, we've got Torora Beach, we've got all that area, you know, kind of like to ourselves, and have that become an issue.
Yeah, well, not when the park's open. No, I would abide by the rules of the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I could each person that comes there could pay a fee also to be able to go down there and use. I know cars get charged a fee to go down there. I don't know how that would be worked out, but it could also charge like a fee to be able to, on top of the tax, like a use fee to use it. And I could give that to whoever that, the state park gets that, or was that still?
Yeah, so
Towards the
resort, a
power
resort
or-
fee, he would charge a
Yeah,
resort
and
fee
I could-
added to the
yeah.
bill to give to the state park.
Yeah, so there would be money generated for the park, there would be money generated for the city, there'd be the DDA. If they got the property, there'd be monthly money there.
Okay. Other questions?
I don't want an issue like that either.
Right.
Of course, I wouldn't want anything like that. I don't want people to have a free for all.
Other questions? David? Bill, Christie?
No.
Dustin, anything there? Dustin, when parents bring their kids to the school, Dustin Rogers works at the Tallulah Falls School. Where are they currently staying if they tend to?
Well, domestics, most of our domestics are from Metro Atlanta area, so they normally go back home. But at the beginning of the year and on some breaks, we do have kids from overseas, mostly Chinese kids, whose parents will come in, and most of them are staying in some areas in Clayton, but for some reason, Cornelia, those couple hotels there at the Walmart area, that seems to be the place they go to mostly. I do think there's a market for what they're proposing in the Tallulah area, obviously. I mean, you go on any given weekend and there's 500 people crossing the bridge, which is also very dangerous. But but domestically, we don't really have any to stay in town. Maybe for graduation and stuff like that. But other than that, it's mostly drop them off and go.
Okay.
Okay, I have another question. What do you see as your timeline?
Well, whatever time it takes, if we can work something out with my proposal, and then like before I would start working, probably 60 days.
To get all the permits, you gotta get your septic permit.
Just, I would start working on it right away. Just start working on getting everything ready so we can start working, however that long takes, but how long that takes. But I would be working on it right away. I'm ready to do something.
So are you saying 60 days from like beginning of construction?
Oh, no. Just I'm thinking it would take that long to
Get the
finish talking
permitting.
with you guys. And if my proposal did work with you guys and everybody decide, that's going to take some time too. I'm not sure how long that might take. If
We're not either.
everybody is happy with my proposal and then lets me do it. And then I can be trying to find, the main thing, the really hardest thing for me is just
The septic,
taken
get
care
the
of.
pump put in.
Yeah, and then once that's done,
Get the
then
permit to do it, have to get the county
We
out
could
there
be
to
working-
approve it.
Yeah.
That's just the, the legality parts of it and the permitting and,
yeah, that takes a little bit of time,
that just takes a little time. But
But
to
start,
begin with, if it starts going through, I mean, as soon as he gets the okay for the septic, you can start gutting.
start working on the building,
Start
start
gutting
working
the
on the
inside.
interior, the exterior.
Not planning on changing the exterior at all.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's
I
gonna
mean,
look the
there
same,
just
so
needs
it's pretty.
exterior work
Yeah,
because
just
there's a lot
paint
of
it.
rotten wood to replace.
Right.
I was going to say, what do you see from your perspective as someone knowledgeable in building? Where do you see the biggest problem in refurbing the building?
Yeah,
Taking the elevator out.
probably taking the elevator out.
Taking the elevator out.
Yeah.
Okay, as in just not having an elevator?
Yeah, I wouldn't need one in a two-story building.
No, there would be no. So if you got a room downstairs, you enter from the side or enter from either side. We
Right.
make access from either side, and then you go walk around the building, get down, and then upstairs when you walk in the main entrance, the plan would be to have two-story inside there, and it'd be in the back part of the building. It's actually 25. It's a little over 25 feet deep there, where the wall comes out. That large room.
Okay.
And it's 70 feet wide. And
Do you envision when you're operating, do you envision having an employee there on site all the time, or
4 hours.
one or two, or what are you thinking about?
Yeah, you gotta have someone there 24
24
hours,
hours.
whether it's a security guard or
Or
it's a front desk girl.
You
You
know,
got to
or,
have
yeah,
someone
you have to
there.
have somebody there. It's, you know, even if you're full, you still would have people that might want to ask questions about
Yeah.
something. You still need somebody there.
What do you most need from us?
I think if we decide, but first of all, for the DDA to do stuff, you're gonna have to get the city, from what I understand, to deed it over to you. And then we can discuss a long-term lease, and we're talking long-term, where you
Right.
have money coming in
Well,
50 years.
And that's that table on that attachment.
Right, it's the last one on the bottom.
Right. The town could not say, we're going to sell it to you guys. The town, as I understand it, would have to put it out for bid, and they may choose to do that again. Or the town could choose to throw it our way. We've got more flexibility than a town does. Town could sell it. They are limited in what they can do as a lease, and we could go either way.
Right.
So
But
that's
if you get it, we're dealing with you.
right.
If you get money out.
And that's what we are, you know, that's the purpose of that request from the town. Let's figure out legally what our options are and which way we want to go. David, did I see a hand that you had a question, or was that just?
Yeah, are you planning on having any type of food service or retail space?
Not
No,
really.
there's not enough room for retail. I mean, as you say, retail space, probably sodas, water,
Yeah, that's it.
maybe
Vending
a
machines.
sandwich that could be in a cooler that would be put into a microwave or something, but that no more than that.
And that would not be something that would service folks hiking,
No.
coming in and getting something
No,
cold.
that's for a
That's
hotel
for somebody.
guest.
That's a guest that wanted to get a
I mean,
drink.
well, you have the restaurants, walking distance, okay? So that solves that problem.
This
They
should
get
help the
hungry,
restaurant.
They get hungry, they walk down the street, go to the grill.
And this should help the restaurant out a lot too, because it's going to
Yes,
have
I
people there.
would think it would.
There's going to be a lot of people there wanting to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't be serving. There's not enough room for a kitchen or anything like that.
No, Mark, in the restaurant, he already has a restaurant.
Yeah, we have a restaurant here.
Yeah.
We just opened. Yeah.
Just out of
He's
curiosity,
the Iron and Oak, he owns the Iron and Oak.
Iron and
restaurant.
Oak restaurants, mine.
which restaurants?
We just opened Iron and Oak restaurant in Clayton and the
Okay.
Depot Center shopping center.
Okay. I'll-
Krona's not treating us too good right now for that though.
Yeah. Have you, just out of curiosity, have you looked at any other properties in this area as other potential places to do something, or is this pretty much your focus?
I've had my eye on this property
Yeah,
for quite a while, for years.
Yeah,
I looked
I've
at
showed
it
it
and
to
just
him
thought
way
of
back when.
things and thought of things. And I've had other projects going on that are coming to an end right now. And I just have, time on my hands now to think about other projects. And it just really caught my, I just started thinking about it a lot more here recently. And I really think it is an excellent opportunity. I really think it will work really well. I think a lot of people, because of the business I'm in now in Clayton, I just have people all the time talking about Tallulah Gorge. And I just know it'll the people want to come there. I know it'll keep the people there. I'm really feel sure it'll be plus for, at first I wanted to buy it. And then Pepper started telling me about the lease, and that could work too. And I feel good having a long-term lease. It's almost like you own it, but I pay you guys for a long time, and hopefully I can renew my lease as it goes. And I'm talking, about spending a good sum of money to make that place really nice.
You're talking about a big
It's
chunk
pretty
on
big
the
investment.
inside and then the swimming pool and then
And we can
two
talk
more
about that later, and I
buildings,
can tell you guys, great.
And
Pretty large.
and we are not committed to either purchase or lease. Both are options, and
Right.
that's something the town needs to decide kind of how they feel about it. And it may be just dump it to the DDA, and then we figure out how we feel about it.
well, that's
So
what we're hoping happens. So you decide.
okay, guys, last call. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Give one more answer when I think she was getting at, I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't know your name.
Keith.
She was getting at like how long maybe before something like that would be finished, I think is what she was asking. And I would say probably 8 months to a year. maybe just get working on the building. I might be able to do a partial opening maybe before it was all finished if I worked
Just on
harder on the building in the beginning, but 8 months to a year before the whole
The
thing.
total.
Or it could be less, depends on how many people I could throw at it at a time, how many contractors or what, if I do the pool, when I can get the pool guy in there to get everything going and it all has to fit together, so yeah, I'd say.
Okay, David.
So if I understood you correctly, you were initially thinking about a purchase, but now you'd like to explore the long-term lease option. Is that correct?
Either one.
Either
I think
one,
the lease option helps more people, helps more people.
Long-term
It
income.
definitely, if you guys got hold of the property, it would definitely help you guys. Because it's a long-term thing. You're looking at getting it for 100 years more, really. 50 years from me, if somebody else gets it after that, or it'd be a continuous money for the rest of time, really.
Okay.
If you guys are interested in see any of his work, you can go to Blue Moon Airbnb online in Clayton. Pictures of the interior work. That was a gutted, rotted apartment building, and look at the quality of work.
I want to make a really nice place that people want to come back to. I get a lot of return business here.
Okay.
But you'd consider either possibility.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Other questions? Okay, gentlemen, I appreciate y'all being here. Y'all can hang out and watch the elections if you like. We will, as you picked up, we've got at least one more offer that's been on, waiting to come in. And so we're going to have to hear August or September. We'll need to give that one a chance. But we also have our own logistical, legal town DDA thing to work out now that we see the shape of things. So always feel free, and you know how to get in touch with me. Someone else will be the chair, but I will get you to the right person.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest and your ideas.
All right. Okay. Great.
All right. Bye.
All right. Let me regain control here. Okay. Any just immediate, before we move on to the next item, any immediate questions or comments, or do we just all need to think about it for a bit? Okay.
Obviously, we need to just get those issues straightened out with how we want to proceed in terms of ownership and town council and legal stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that we got to do.
And I may owe everybody an apology. When Party A first appeared, I started that discussion with Warren in terms of, we wouldn't want someone negotiating with the town and then sending it to us to sell if that would be an illegal activity for the town council, since the town council can't. There's a little legal can of worms there that we just need to wrestle to the ground. Both Warren and I thought, well, okay, we'll wait until it's closer to really being an issue rather than spending legal money speculatively like that. I sort of wish now we'd pursued it a little more. Hindsight 2020. But hopefully the town will work on that and we can figure out our options. Anything before we move on? Okay. Next item on the agenda is the elections. As was in your email, the nominating committee proposed for chair, Mary Beth Hughes, for vice chair, David Hart, for secretary, Christy Early, and for treasurer, Joey Fountain. We will take those one by one, since I don't know if everybody's had a chance to say they were willing or not. Let's start with the chair, the nominee, Mary Beth Hughes. The moment you say you're not going to do it, I will mute you. But any comments about your willingness, or any? I'm fixing to put it up for a vote, so forever hold your peace.
Okay. Well, I'd be willing to do this just as long as y'all know that do not expect me to follow in this man's footsteps in terms of his organization. I will try the best I can. My technical abilities are like way lower. So I'm very happy to hear that we might be having or probably having a meeting in person. Those things I can handle. These Zoom meeting things, this is like a whole other ball game for me. But I'm willing to steer this boat, and we're all going to be paddling it together. So I think I accept the nomination.
Thank you very much. Okay. Since she has been nominated, I don't know that, and she's accepted, I don't know if Robert's rules require us to vote on the nomination. I think the nominating committee took care of that. All in favor of Mary Beth Hughes as chair, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. And we just got the top of your head there we go. Okay. All right, Mary Beth, congratulations and sympathies in whatever mix you deem appropriate. Yes.
Votes are different than motions, so I don't need a first and a second. I just put in the minutes that we voted and it was unanimously approved. Yes?
I believe the nominating committee's activity takes the place of a vote or nomination a second. I am not a Robert's Rules expert. Does anybody want to contest that?
I move that we accept the nominating committee's nomination
Of Mary Beth Hughes.
of Mary Beth Hughes as chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Okay. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Okay. All opposed? We got it either way. We're good. We'll go that route, David. If you think is our legal expert, if you think that's the best route to go, that's good. Okay.
Nothing wrong with it. We're good.
Okay. So we move to vice chair. David, comments?
I'll be happy to be vice chair and back Mary Beth up. I'll be happy to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless somebody else wants to step up and be an officer, in which case I don't mind being a regular member.
Do I hear a motion to accept the nominating committee? Okay, a motion to accept the nominating committee's recommendation of David Hart. as
I'll
vice-
move.
Okay, second from Joey, voice from the ether. All in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Okay, David, you're the man.
Okay.
The nominating committee nominated Christy Early to continue as secretary. Christy, any comments?
I'll do it. I don't want any of the other positions, so I'll keep this one.
Well, you're good at this one. I move to accept the nominating committee's nomination for secretary.
I second it.
All in favor indicate by raised hand. Any opposed? Okay, last but not least, treasurer. The nominating committee recommended Joey Fountain for treasurer. Joey, comments, questions, thoughts?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay,
I move that we further torture Joey by accepting the nominating committee's nomination of him as treasurer.
David,
Second.
you will return to Georgia one day.
second. Okay, Dustin seconds. All in favor indicate by saying, by raising your hand. Any opposed? Okay, unanimous vote. So we have the slate of officers for 2020 to 2022, this time in 2 years. At this point in time, I turn the virtual gavel over to your new incoming chair to finish the meeting.
Finish the meeting? Oh, I didn't know I was going to be finishing the meeting. You
Oh,
might have.
well, the agenda item now is incoming chairs comments, open floor for discussion, communications to the council.
Okay. All right, I think I got it. All right, well, thank y'all for that vote of confidence. I'm looking forward to taking this on and leading us into this new exciting direction. You know, these first 2 years have been kind of, not always fun and laborious, and didn't know where we were going to end up. But this is exciting now that we have this offer, this idea on the table, and that we've got other ones coming. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we're going now. So thank you for this opportunity, and it will probably only be 2 years. So someone else be waiting and ready for their turn. So that's about all I have to say. So open floor for discussion. I can't see anybody. I can only see. Nope. Nobody has anything to say?
I'll disc jockey if necessary.
Okay. I'm not seeing that anyone has anything to say. All right. So, David, were you about to say something?
Well, we're going to send this letter to the town council, but are we going to get on their agenda for the next meeting, or how are we going to receive their input?
Well, it seems like
communicate this latest offer here, or discussion we just had with these people.
Right. Well, the next city council meeting is August 6th, which, isn't really that too far away. It seems like, though, that I feel like that we'll need to, get the ball rolling before then. Maybe begin communicating with Warren. I mean, that seems like kind of the first thing we need to do is just talk about the legality of some of these things. I mean, am I saying that correctly, Keith? What do you think?
I've spoken some with Warren. My immediate read is, since the town owns the buildings, that probably the lawyering as much as possible needs to come out of their budget with regard to talking with Warren on these options. So I think the town would need to get in touch with him and see, help work out these options to see what is legally possible and then what we want to do. We may also at some point in time need to retain our own attorney on this matter. I think most of it, the town attorney would be fine. If the town says, hey, we're going to give you the buildings, are we ready to say, oh yeah, whatever, send on? Or are there things that from a legal perspective that the DDA may need to say, well, make sure you do this and send this much money with the building for us to then take care of it. So there may need to be a lawyer who's at least looking at it from our perspective. That's something that probably we'll need to talk about in the next meeting or so.
So do y'all feel like that we can just wait to the next council meeting before we take action, since that is like, what, less than almost 2 weeks away? Or do we need to do anything before then?
I think that's fine.
You think that's okay, David, just to wait?
I think the memo requesting them to act, and possibly a little memo just saying we have heard from so-and-so, and this is in general terms their thinking. And then we've got at least one more active proposal that wants to speak to the council in either August or September. Mm-hmm. And maybe by that time, we'll know which of the options we want to pursue.
Okay, so as a new chairperson, do I need to do anything before the next meeting? I guess that's before the next city council meeting. Present that letter to them.
Who knows what will come up, but I will give you that email, and then at some point in time, somebody, the secretary or somebody, needs to write up a little summary, I guess, of this proposal in broad sense. This is on the table, and we're expecting to hear another live one sometime in either August or September. And then one of the things that Warren may need to give us some guidance on, we do have one elected official in town who feels like there's another party that, especially if we're talking about selling the building, should have a chance to approach the town again because they wanted to buy it before. I'm not sure how that to me is sort of a Warren and a town council question on how
Okay.
to proceed.
All right. So maybe Christy, you'll pull something together that we can present to the council.
Yeah, I'll be summarizing it for the minutes anyway, so I can just send that along.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So that seems like the big thing that we need to talk to the council about. Anything else that we need to convey to the city council?
The nice thing about this being on YouTube is the city council can just listen to it for themselves if they want more details than what I put in. So
Oh,
that along as well.
absolutely. Yes, that's a good point. All right. Well, anything else? Anybody? No? All right. Well, do I hear a motion that we adjourn this meeting?
I move we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
I second. I was trying to move. I'll second.
All right. Well, thank you all very much. And hopefully we get to see each other in person next month. What's the date of that? The third Tuesday? I don't have a calendar in front of me, but
I don't know. Hold on.
August 18th.
August 18th. All right. Well, we'll see you August 18th, if not before.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.